I made you game my bitch. Pixels! Released in 2015 and is directed by Chris Columbus, not the enslaver of all the Native Americans here in America when he discovered it. We're talking about the director who has directed such films like The Adventures in Babysitting, Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Rent. And this film is regrettably starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Michelle Monaghan, Josh Gad, Brian Cox, and the only redeemable thing about this entire movie, Peter Dinklage. And the reason why we're talking about Pixels today is because it was a PayPal recommendation from one of my friends and subscribers, Susie Lemire. You strike again with another recommendation of a film that is typically, you know, panned by critics and audiences alike. And I gotta say, I'm gonna be in that boat as well. This movie was not good, but Peter Dinklage was pretty freaking awesome. In 1982, the United States government shot a time capsule up in space in hopes that it would one day reach intelligent life out in the universe and we can make first contact. Well, it is 2015 and that dream has become a reality as aliens have arrived on planet Earth and start destroying entire cities in the form of old 80s video games. And because no one in the US Army has ever played a video game before, they turn to a couple of nerds who have been the best arcade video gamers their entire lives. So now the fate of the world rests on the shoulders of Adam Sandler, Josh Gad, Kevin James, and thankfully Peter Dinklage. I remember watching this trailer for the very first time and just having my fist up in the air, just thinking that this was going to be the coolest thing ever for like the first minute or so of the trailer. But then all of a sudden the face of Adam Sandler comes on screen and my fist immediately just drops down and I go, oh no. And I haven't attempted to watch this movie since then because I knew it was going to be terrible. This was around the time when Adam Sandler was just putting out comedy left and right, Jack and Jill, Grown Ups, Grown Ups 2, and they were doing great box office for whatever frickin' reason. The movies aren't funny, but people go to the movies to see them. Why? People are, I've lost faith in them. But here we are, it's recommended, someone paid me to watch this thing, so that's why I'm talking about it, and that's why I have finally watched it. So first, the good things. And the things I've suspected that I think are good is the pixelization. It's the CGI. It's really cool seeing these CGI characters of these 80s video games, arcade games showing up in real life and people trying to shoot them and then taking people out, and then when they take them out, they get all pixelated. I think that part is really cool. Little Q*bert is in here and he's adorable. I love seeing him. And the only live action actor character in this film that is making this redeemable in any form of the word is Peter Dinklage. He's the all-time grand champion in Donkey Kong, and he comes on screen in his jean cut-off sleeves jacket with his mullet on. He's never left the 80s, and he thinks he is so cool. He is hilarious in this film. I will say that the actor who played younger version of Peter Dinklage is doing something completely different than what Peter Dinklage is doing when he finally shows up on screen, but if you forget that, if you take that aside and you just look at Peter Dinklage, I think he's awesome. So now that part has said, and we close the door, and we talk about the rest of this movie, and this thing is freaking god-awful. And it's awful from a concept standpoint. So you have all these aliens coming to Earth in live-action form of the 80s arcade games. And yes, they're obeying the patterns that was in all of those games, which made them kind of easy to beat as opposed to now, where it's all kind of free play and role-playing. But just because someone was really good at an arcade game on a screen with a joystick does not mean that they're going to be awesome when it comes to real-life fighting and shooting and driving. One of the battles in here is Pac-Man, and there's this big giant pixelated Pac-Man, and all of our characters are in these cars going after them, playing the part of the ghosts from the video game. It's like, okay, so you're good at the game of Pac-Man. That doesn't mean that you are a NASCAR driver and can drive and swerve and do that correctly. Where's the logic here? And I know where the logic is. It's Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler is funny and bankable, so that's who we're putting in this movie. Why? I will say, though, from an Adam Sandler performance, he's actually kind of subdued in this movie. He's not over the top at all. He's just a regular guy, and he has normal line delivery. He's not doing his Billy Madison voice, even though this is all from his Billy Madison, Happy Madison company. So he's not going around to Pac-Man and being, "Hello, Pac-Man, do you like shampoo or conditioner first?" No, he's just a grown-up nerd, and he keeps talking about how nerds, you know, are nerdy. And like we know that. We already know that. We don't need to highlight that anymore. Kevin James plays the President of the United States. Oh god, that was hilarious to say. But knowing who we have had as our president in recent time, I was about to say, like, really, Kevin James is the president, but I guess if Donald Trump can be our president, anything can happen. Josh Gad plays a conspiracy theorist, and he's always, you know, off the grid because the government watches everything, so he has a bunch of VHS tapes that he gets all the messages on, and he's trying to forcibly be that weird stalker weirdo that's always in, like, the corner of a coffee shop, and you look at him and you go, yep, he's gonna kill someone eventually. And Michelle Monaghan is here because it's an Adam Sandler movie, and Adam Sandler needs an attractive woman to play off of. So, you know, good for you, Adam Sandler. You get all of those roles. Happy. The movie just had so much potential, and I could see that there is a different script of Pixels out there that was treated with a lot more respect and had, like, kind of an Independence Day type vibe about it. But then once the script went over to Happy Madison and Adam Sandler got his hand on it, the entire thing, the entire tone of everything just completely changed. I can't say for sure if that's what happened, but I mean, that's what happened. I know this year is young, but this is one of the worst films that I've reviewed this year so far. I wouldn't be shocked if it made my top 10 worst of the year at the end of the year. Let's see if I can find 10 other movies that are worse than this one. I highly doubt it. I'm gonna give Pixels 1 out of 5 Blu-rays.
What? No!
And that one Blu-ray is solely for Peter Dinklage. He gets it. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my video is where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next one is another PayPal recommendation. Told everyone, this whole month I'm trying to knock all the PayPal recommendations and donations I got at the end of last year. I'm trying to knock them all out as best as I possibly can, and the next one here is again from Autumn Blood. She recommended Eddie v. Eco. We go from one of the worst movies that I've ever seen to one of the movies that makes me so freaking happy. I remember watching that movie, like, all the time when it came out. I forget what year it came out, but I remember no one saw it. Like, the box office was terrible, which is such a shame because the movie is so good and inspiring. But I'll talk about it more next time. So guys, if you've seen Pixels, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Eddie the Eco. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.